Hey fam, Speed Duel Bro here, and in today's deck profile video we have MOKEY MOKEY SMACKDOwn, and yes, ODION is here to help. And just so you know fam, this will be the final deck profile before we move on to the next set, Duelists of Shadow. Let's go. For the skill card we have Guardians of the Tomb, and then for the monster lineup we've got 3 MOKEY MOKEY. Yep, that's it. Then on to spells, 3 MOKEY MOKEY SMACKDOwn, 2 Double Cyclone, 2 Offerings to the Doomed, and that's it for spells. And then on to traps, 3 Swamp Mirror, 3 Quantum Cat, 3 Damage Condenser, and 2 Justy Break. And then for the side deck, we have 3 Embodiment of Apophis, 2 Dust Tornado, and 1 Offerings to the Doomed. How to win / strategies. Now the strategy for this deck is fairly simple, but it does require some setup. So this is the hand you want to see. So let's say we're going first, right? So here's our hand. Okay, so we've got these. Now fam, for Offerings to the Doomed, it can also be Justy Break, and with Swamp Mirror, it can also be Quantum Cat. Now the reason why we're going with Swamp Mirror and Quantum Cat is because they both have that unique effect where you declare a monster type. So obviously we're going to call Fairy so that MOKEY MOKEY SMACKDOwn can trigger. So what we're going to do first turn is we're going to activate MOKEY MOKEY SMACKDOwn, summon MOKEY MOKEY, and set these 2 down, right? So now we pass it to the opponent. Now if the opponent sees this field right here, they're already going to be weary of attacking into us. Because if they're a cautious and smart duelist, they're probably going to think it's going to be either a Justy Break or some form of back row, obviously, right? So most likely the opponent might just set up their field too. So whether they summon or set, they're going to end their turn, right? So what you want to do is say, before the end of your main phase, go ahead and special summon the Swamp Mirror here. And then remember, call Fairy. And so Guardians of the Tomb will activate. And now we can draw a card, and look what we drew, Double Cyclone. Now it's been ruled that even if we activate a trap monster, we can still occupy this space for other back row. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And the reason why we're playing Double Cyclone in this deck fam is so that not only do we get to destroy an opponent's back row when we activate this, but we can destroy our own trap monster, thus triggering MOKEY MOKEY SMACKDOwn. Because remember, the text here says if a face-up fairy monster you control is destroyed while you control MOKEY MOKEY. So it doesn't have to be destroyed by battle, just flat out destroy. So as you can see, we can get really aggressive with this deck. You know, come our turn, we can attack with Swamp Mirror, run over the opponent's monster, and then destroy it with Double Cyclone, thus making MOKEY MOKEY, that's a tongue twister right there, making MOKEY MOKEY 3000 attack, which could be very lethal. But yeah, Double Cyclone's pretty good tech in this deck, if you ask me. So let's rewind a bit here. Let's reset our field. So let's put this back, Swamp Mirror back in the back row, and let's say the opponent was more aggressive towards us. So let's say they summon a monster, right? And they want to enter the battle phase. Again, you just say, before you end your main phase, let's summon the Swamp Mirror, and then we draw a card. Again, it's Double Cyclone, right? So the opponent attacks. That's where we activate Offerings to the Doomed on the opponent's monster. So what I'm trying to point out here, fam, is that even if we had lost our draw phase because of Offerings to the Doom, Guardians of the Tomb can somewhat mitigate that negative effect, or that negative backdraw, so to say. And then what I also really like too, fam, is that with Offerings to the Doomed, we can also use it on our own monsters. So let's say if we just wanted MOKEY MOKEY to power up, well, why not just use Offerings to the Doomed on our own trap monster? And then let's say, what if we had opened up with Quantum Cat, right? Well, basically the same logic and same method applies here, but here's the thing. So let's say we had won game 1, right? Well, I want you to do in game 2 is swap out the 3 Quantum Cats for the 3 Embodiment of Apophis. Now granted, Embodiment of Apophis is going to be a reptile, or does it say? Here we go, reptile. But the thing is, we can be more aggressive now because the opponent's gonna think that since we're playing the quantum cats, we're gonna be slow, maybe be a bit more defensive, but we're gonna switch it up on the opponent. So thus catching them off guard. Card analysis, the skill card Guardians of the Tomb. Now to my surprise, fam, this skill card has a lot of synergy with Moky Moky, simply because of the trap monster card aspect to it, and the fact that we get to draw a card, that's amazing, so that we can get to our pieces much faster. And then obviously we play the 3 Moky Moky and the 3 Moky Moky Smackdown because it's the theme of the deck, the centerpiece. I don't need to explain in detail. And then we play the 2 Offerings to the Doom and the 2 Double Cyclone. Now fam, I really like this balance of 2 and 2, simply because Offerings to the Doom is a very live card, not only for the opponent to be used on, but for us as well, because we can destroy our own trap monsters. And if we have Moky Moky Smackdown, Moky Moky on the field, Moky Moky becomes 3000. And then as for the Double Cyclone, as you already saw in the example earlier, we can pop an opponent's back row and destroy our own trap monster, thus again triggering Moky Moky Smackdown. But yeah, I like 2 and 2 in this deck because sometimes the situation in a duel, sometimes the opponent may not have back row. So at least I feel like this is the right ratio, 2 and 2. And then obviously we play the 3 Swamp Mirror and the 3 Quantum Cat, simply because they both have that ability to be any type of monster. So obviously we're going to call fairies. And then remember fam, once we've won game 1, hopefully, because we overwhelmed the opponent with such a unique and surprising strategy, we're going to swap out the Quantum Cat for the 3 Embodiment of Apophis so that we can be hyper aggressive on the opponent. And then we play the 3 Damage Condenser. Now the reason why we're playing these 3 is because consider it like Moky Moky, these 3 Damage Condensers. And the fact that Moky Moky only has 300 attack, so pulling off Damage Condenser is going to be very easy. And then we play the 2 Justy Break. As you all know, this is one of the best trap cards for normal monsters. And here's a cool thing, fam. The trap monsters here, if you read them closely, they're also considered normal monsters. So meaning this is very compatible with Justy Break. Isn't that something? And also fam, Justy Break is also compatible with Embodiment of Apophis. Now that's really something if you ask me. And then moving on to the side deck, as you can see, we've got 1 Offerings to the Doom, 2 Dust Tornado, and 3 Embodiment of Apophis. Now for game 2, fam, I would recommend that you probably swap out one of the Justy Breaks for either or another Offerings to the Doom or a Dust Tornado, simply because once the opponent knows we're playing Justy Break, they're going to be very weary to attack, so they'll probably attempt to get rid of our back row first. And then I've already explained the purpose of the 3 Embodiment of Apophis. And now it's time for the moment of truth, fam. Where does this deck rank on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is casual. Now the reason why I say this deck is casual, fam, is because it requires some setup. We need to have Moky Moky on the field on the first place, and then we also have to have Moky Moky Smackdown. And not only that, we also have to have our trap monsters ready and waiting. Now thankfully, the skill card is going to help us get through all this slow process of setting up, because we will be able to draw a card. But again, fam, it requires some time to set up. That's why it's casual in my eyes. But if you can set it up, oh boy, you're gonna have so much fun with Moky Moky Smackdown. But yeah, give it a try, fam. You'll be surprised at the synergy of this deck. And so there you go. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please feel free to hit the like button because it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And no matter what the power level of the deck is, be it casual, semi-competitive, or competitive, we're gonna do our best to win this thing. And 2, if you love speed duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. Alright fam, that's it for now. The next time we see each other, it's gonna be with Duelists of Shadows. See you soon, fam. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.